Hello YouTube, back with the next BattleBots review, and as you can see, I've got the BattleBots Hexbug, the Rivals. I got Minotaur, and I got Beta. I'll be reviewing momentarily here, but as you can see, Minotaur is very well represented here. I think the drum is probably just a little too narrow in terms of, I think on the show is a little bit, now, let's see if I can go a bit wider this way. It sticks out well enough that it can get a little bit of bite on other robots. Got the little feet on the back here. And of course, the side panels come off. They are magnetic. There's a side, one side, there's the other. And the top comes off. The top is a little bit easier to take off once you take off the side plates. It's a little bit harder to get back on, mostly because of the little slots here on top. And there, of course, you've got your usual, there's your motor for the weapon, your drive motors for the wheels. I'm going to give it another better look here. Here you go. You've got, let's see, that there's the motor that powers the weapon here, and then you've got in the back here, you've got the, let's see if I can get a finger out of the way here. I'll just use this, yeah, there we go. There's a motor here and a motor here to power each of the wheels here. And you see those little tubes in the background? I believe those are the batteries. So when you're inserting the batteries underneath here, that's where they go. They end up having little pods, if you will. And of course, you can see you got the little controller here, the little control board here, and there's the sensor that powers it. And what's a nice little feature is when I turn this thing on, you're going to see a nifty little treat here. Let me get this sucker turned on. Actually, I'll get this guy back together here, and then I'll turn him on, and you'll be able to see something that none of the other Hexbug toys have. And one thing, before I do that, I'd like to make note of the fact that if you notice, the power button is the same color as the weapon. This is something I just noticed recently while kind of just re-examining it when I was bored. The fact that the start button is the same color as the weapon. I think that was probably intentional on their part. You'll notice Beta has it on the same way, at least partially. It's black, so it goes with the head. Okay, I'm going to power it on. You should see a blue light come on. That blue light is present on the show. That was a great idea. Obviously, Hexbug didn't have to do that. They did. The light is actually visible underneath. It's like right here, right underneath the sensor here. It's direct. I don't know if you can see it that well here. It's pretty bright, so you're probably not going to see it that well. And of course, I'm sure you want to see it, see the weapon spin and all that. And we'll get into the actual combat with it a little bit later. I'm going to first, oh dear, there it goes. Yeah, I feel it's actually louder and faster than the original. It's vibrating in my hand, almost like a cell phone. This is actually how it sounds. I'm not kidding. If you look at other videos online, it's vibrating in my hand. That's how fast it's spinning right now. I think that maybe to represent how fast it is on the show. I don't know if you can hear me that well, but it's really fast. I would say it's arguably faster than any of the other toys in the toy line that have spinning weapons. But yeah, it's really fast. I have to say maybe it's 700 RPM. I think we found out the original toys spin at about 500 RPM. It would be interesting to find out how fast it is, but it's really fast. Trust me, I'm not even doing anything, and it's still, yeah, it's vibrating. As I said, it's vibrating in my hand. That's how fast this drum is spinning. I'm pretty sure that's down right to the features of the motor. It's just really fast. I'm going to turn this motor off so I can, yeah, so there's Minotaur. I will power him down, and we'll get Beta out, and I'll show how that one works. Alright. So here's Beta. As you can see, he's got the usual hammer. Yes, you can call him Beta if you want, but I think Beta is a little more fitting, because not only does it go with John Reed's original name humor, as he likes to include humor. kilohertz, like kills and hurts, that whole thing. So it's definitely, it fits in that theme, and of course, it is a beater. It literally is. It's got a giant hammer. What else can you call it? What's interesting to note about this is that, of course, because of Beta design, you can see right through without even to take the top off. There's no top to begin with. All these plates are actually held in with one magnet each. Here's one. I'll take them all off. Get a better idea. There you go. There's a good view of the overall. It's very well designed, just like Beta from the show. It's kind of unfortunate that it doesn't have a back panel. I mean, the top isn't covered by anything, so I guess obviously that would come down to, you know, extra design. But that means you get to. I guess that also helps with, you know, driving it. So if you're going to drive it around, this is the way you want to have it, because the hammer doesn't go all the way down. It kind of stops here. But I mean, there's a lot of detail here. You can see inside, there's a lot going on here. I found out that the motor for the weapon is actually right in there. It's right down there. You can't see it all that well. There's a gear down there somewhere. When you actually get the toy, you'll see it a little bit better. It's right around here. See these big gears here? If I can move my hand out of the way. Right down there, there's one that connects to this, and this whole mechanism moves. It's pretty impressive. I mean, they went through a lot of good detail. This is the first weapon we've had that actually has a hammer since, like, the original show, and it's powered by a spring. I don't know if you can see it that well. It is that little gold thing right there. You see the big gear here? It's right next to that on that side. That's what powers the weapon. It doesn't go all the way back, but it goes all the way forward. So, and as I've actually tested it, and I think I'll try to show you here, it actually does do a pretty decent job in actually getting the damage out. It'll even take the top panel off, even though that's actually a little harder to take off. Although, arguably, I would say Beta's overall components don't stay on that. They stay on pretty well. I mean, I think they're actually improved over the Tombstone replica. I think the harder part is actually getting the panels to sit back into place. Maybe I did it. It looks like I did it there. I'm not really accustomed to this one, because I mean, I just got this one over these over Christmas. Okay. I think the easiest thing to do is to note the little slots. The little slots on the side here, and then this guy just fits into them. That'll actually make it easier to work. And as you can see, there's a black startup button on this side here, because it's matched at least part of the weapon. I'll power this bad boy on. You can see it work. You won't see a whole lot. There's no blue light in here like Minotaur, so the only way you'll know it's working is if you fire the hammer. And you've got two options. You can fire the hammer once. See, that was quick. And it will reset. Or you can fire it continuously and get a different effect. Or I guess more specifically, you can just fire it. Let's see, not continuously, but fire and reset, which is probably arguably better, because you'll end up getting the message across here. But yeah, let me just re-demonstrate the hammers to show how fast it is. I don't know if I quite got it in the shot before. Let's see if I can. So yeah, that's pretty fast, and that's only on a spring. It's a spring-loaded weapon here. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to power Beta off. The usual power switch. I'll put it in the arena. I've got a little box over here. I'm going to show them off as best I can. Starting with Minotaur here. See, that's your remote. Remote there. I'm going to put this guy, I'm going to turn this guy sideways. You probably won't see me for a split second, and then I will come right back, and you will see me again. You'll see the arena. Let's see if I can get this set up here so you can see it well enough. Got the arena here. You can see I don't really know. This is probably I don't know. Let's see if I can make a slight adjustment to where this goes. I have this actually propped up on a. Let's see. I guess that's probably the best we're gonna do here. So you got Beta on the left over here, and I've got Minotaur here. You might not see them that well. Let's see if I can. Yeah, there we go. All right. So I just had that box too close. There you go. Let's see if I can make adjustments to get this. So this is visible. Should be okay. I'm going to power on Minotaur, and we'll get started here and have a little extra fun. And again, you're going to hear that drum is pretty impressive. I mean, they did a great job getting this guy going here. As you can see, it's very fast. The top panel on Beta is always harder to take off. I will get note of that, so that may be a little hint, a little advantage for Beta, so to kind of make up for the fact that the hammer is all about timing. So, let's see if I can rip off a panel with Minotaur's drum here. I took a bite out of the panel. See, you may have to get in really close to take off that panel. We'll get a good running start. I haven't yet taken off any panels yet. And there's the other problem. Minotaur can actually get stuck on top of Beta, probably by nature, by design. There goes the panel. Put Beta a little closer so you can get a better look. This is, I think, probably the easier way to take off the other panel. You get the side panel taken off, one of the two, and then you should have a better luck getting off the other two. Though you may have to take off the other one as well. I don't really know. See if I can put them a little bit closer in the arena so you can see it happen. Well, there goes Minotaur's top. That shows you one thing. It does come off pretty easily. So a little bit of extra unintended destruction here from Minotaur here. I think Minotaur's overall design in this toy is also partly why it's vibrating a little bit. It kind of lurches forward a bit, I think, because of the, let's see. Got the top. There it goes. There goes the top. Or the front plate on Beta. And the third panel comes off pretty easily. So, there's Beta. There's Minotaur taking out Beta relatively easily. I mean, it's a lot of fun. These are actually, if you've never seen these before, these are actually great fun. Obviously, they work a little bit better when you have, you know, two people to fight them with, and then you can really have a good time. Now, they're relatively easy to put back together, and you get to see inside how a real robot is built to some extent. I mean, you won't get to see everything, but you'll get to see a good power on Beta here. Because now it'll be Beta's turn to do some damage. Kind of get a little bit of revenge here. Let's see. Okay, put the remote over here. So I'm going to... Now, obviously, you're probably not going to have this ease. Oh, there goes the top anyway. But I'm going to show that Beta can take off the top without having to do that. See if I can make sure it's all nice and flush. With a little bit of luck, you can take off that top without having to... It vibrates. I mean, the top actually gets hit. See, it dislodged. I didn't even have to hit it directly. I mean, it helps, obviously. And there goes the top. So, the tough part is getting to the side. The side panels actually, I think, come off relatively easily. Because you can just aim right to the... Ah, so close. Yeah, I guess they come off relatively easily once you're in position, but that's the tricky part. Yeah, Beta's a lot harder to drive, I think, arguably because of his overall weapon type and everything. And, of course, he's two-wheel drive, so... Alright, let me just line up, see if I can line up Minotaur such that Beta can take off a panel. There goes a panel. Let's try the other panel, just for grins. I'm going to kind of help Beta out here. Go back just a little bit further. Well, I think you get the idea. But there's one other little nifty little feature about Beta. You get to see that no robot to this day as a toy that's been printed as a toy, at least for an axe standpoint, can do. This one can self-right, but only while the axe is in the down position. I'm going to flip Beta over and show you how that works. Actually, I'm going to show it from the side here because I think you probably would appreciate that a bit more. And there you go. He self-rights. Now, obviously, we don't have a flipper yet. Bronco has had trouble since the beginning. They didn't get it finalized in time. I still think it's coming, given how close it was to being released. But, truth be told, I mean, there's the Bronco from Tech for Kids that came out. That's got flipping ability. That might be able to get underneath. I mean, it's generally going to go down to the opponent driving, though. But yeah, that's my review on the BattleBots BattleBots Rivals by Hexbug, Minotaur, and Beta. Thanks for watching.